Albertans will no longer have to worry about online ticket bots.
The Edmonton Oilers took time to brighten the days of patients at the Stollery Children's Hospital.
NAIT celebrates International Persons with Disabilities Day.
Hello and welcome to Second Edition News. Bill 31 has made its way into Alberta's legislature.
The Government of Alberta has introduced a bill that will protect consumer purchases from unfair practices or competition.
The government has stepped in and says, not only are you going to have to try, you're going to have to do something or we're going to fine you.
Bill 31 was introduced to help Albertans make secure, legitimate purchases. The bill included prohibiting the use of software bots to purchase large quantities of tickets to events and putting them on third-party sites to make a profit.
I think it'd be good just for making sure that you have the opportunity to still get those, still be able to buy a ticket but still be protected when you do it.
Sites like Ticketmaster will be forced to cancel tickets bought by software bots. If ticket selling sites do not comply to these rules, they could face fines up to $300,000.
Protesters gathered outside the legislature on Thursday to stand up for their fertility rights. The Regional Fertility and Women's Endocrine Clinic will stop offering uninsured fertility services. Sandra Asokar, the Executive Director of Friends of Medicare, explains why she believes it is important to keep these services available.
People that have infertility issues are not consumers of a service, they are patients. And our healthcare system is enshrined in the value that it needs to be there for everybody based on need and not ability to pay.
The Government of Alberta says that the services are discontinued because the physicians who offer them have moved to private practice clinics. The services covered under Alberta Health will continue to be offered through the Lois Hole Hospital for Women.
The Government of Alberta announced on Thursday that they would be continuing to offer affordable post-secondary education with the freezing of tuition and mandatory non-instructional fees.
Right, I only did two of the cat.
The government says that the freeze will save a university student $1,500 over the course of a 4-year program. Post-secondary institution costs in Alberta are now below the national average. The freeze is expected to affect almost 250,000 students and apprentices.
In recognition of International Day for Persons with Disabilities, NAIT held its own disability awareness event.
At the event, NAIT's Learning Services talked about the challenges students with disabilities face and how they can help. Nikita Ganovachev has more.
Chad Booth is a student at NAIT. He was born with muscle deficiencies that occurs in only 1 in 3,000 births.
So I have the disability arthrogryposis. It is a muscle disability where it weakens and debilitates the ankles or the wrists. When I first came to NAIT, I saw a few problems. There was the doors.
Because of his disability, Chad isn't able to grab things like doorknobs, which makes getting into classrooms hard. Everyday objects like door handles can cause problems for some, and so on November 30th, NAIT's Learning Services held a disability awareness event right here on campus to talk about these problems.
So we just wanted to take this today to really showcase different Edmonton artists and as well bring light to disability and the services that NAIT provides.
At the event, the performance group Cripsy performed and informed people about some obstacles that people with disabilities face. NAIT provides services to students to help adapt to these obstacles and help make changes to classrooms and to the campus to meet their needs, such as reduced course load, consultation services, and assistive technology like speech-to-text software. In Chad's case, doors were opened with just a simple change.
And they made the changes to the doors, and now they're much easier for me to open.
Nikita Ganovachev, Second Edition News.
On average, men die 6 years earlier than women. Since Movember started in 2003, over 5 million people have joined the movement.
Yeah, for all kinds of
Movember focuses on prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health, and suicide prevention.
Taking care of men's health, encouraging people to be aware of what they need to do. So our young men, getting them to do their testicular examinations.
Dads, brothers, guy on your rec hockey team who refuses to pass, all men, it's a time to put the conversations about our health and our mental health to the front.
Experts say prostate cancer rates will double in the next 15 years. Testicular cancer rates have already doubled in the last 50. 3/4 of suicides are men.
Edmontonians are getting into the Christmas spirit by visiting one of its most popular festivals. This event is an annual holiday celebration where Edmonton's city spirit comes to life. When you purchase a ticket, you are donating money to the University of Alberta's Rapid Transfer Unit.
These wonderful children, taking them to come here and sing their Christmas songs.
Well, I was the author of that one. So I can tell you I'm just loving it that people are appreciating all the work that we put in. And yeah, it's great.
The U of A's Hospital Emergency Department helps 60% of all trauma cases in Edmonton. Since 2010, the number of patients over 65 has increased by 40%.
The Edmonton Oilers were all smiles at the Stollery Children's Hospital.
Hi, Daisy.
The Oilers sign hearts and autographs for sick children in hopes to create a day full of pure happiness and a chance to turn a bad day into a great day.
Like for us, we like coming in here because it puts smiles on people's faces, and we enjoy it because it makes them upbeat a little more. And we try to just communicate as best as possible and make sure they're happy and they're really putting smiles on their face. So giving back to Edmonton is always nice. This is a time where we get the chance to actually go out and do something for the community. Get the chance to turn their day that was turning a bad day to a really good day. So
a meet and greet with the Oilers wasn't only open to kids, it was also open to adults of all ages who wanted a keepsake of their local hockey team. The Ooks are gearing up for a big battle with the University of Alberta this weekend.
And the Oil Kings have been on that recent losing streak. Do you think they ended it?
Those are two very big games for both those teams, guys. But first, we start with some Ooks volleyball action. The NAIT Ooks volleyball team are looking to set themselves into a tie of second place with a win over the Augustana Vikings on Friday. In the prior games between these two teams this season, the Ooks took the victory on both of them. In the first set, Ooks captain Jamie Bain sets up a perfect ball to middle Taylor Card, and she gets a cheeky touch to fall. Vikings respond with a point of their own when Rebecca Petrie whiffs on her hit, but it falls for the point. After a nice little rally, the Vikings look for the back hit from Rebecca Bates, but her touch goes long for an Ooks point. Ooks win the first set. It was all Ooks in the second. Score 23-10 when Julia Donnelly's hit paints the corner for the Ooks point as they take the second set. Vikings make it interesting in the third, however, already up 6-4 when Ray Machunik's ace makes it 7-4. Augustana kept it coming with a huge kill again from Ray Machunik, but it wouldn't be enough. The Ooks would go on to win the set and the game. Ooks libero Lauren Smith talked about what the Ooks need to focus on in the second half of the season.
Just consistency throughout the whole games. I think as the semester goes on, you get kind of pressured to pick up your game like this, but I think just keeping it at a good, solid level the whole way through is what's important.
The Ooks have a month-long break until January 4th when they take on Briarcrest here at NAIT. The Ooks hockey team are gearing up for their crosstown rivals in a huge battle with the University of Alberta Golden Bears. The Ooks are heading into the biggest battle of the season with a team that's not even in the same league. That team is the University of Alberta Golden Bears. The Golden Bears currently sit in first place with the Canada West Division of Youth Sports with 15 wins and 1 loss. But the Ooks, who sit atop the ACAC conference with 11 wins and 1 loss, are more than ready to take on the Golden Bears.
Absolutely a great test for our hockey club once again. Played them in the Athabasca there, lost in overtime, so they gave us a great game. And then, yeah, like the ACAC, we've had a lot of good games there this first half. So, and then I guess doing it in Northlands for charity just makes it that much bigger and a good test for our hockey club and a measuring stick for the CIS.
The Ooks and Golden Bears take the ice at Northlands Coliseum on December 9th. The puck drops at 7 p.m. The Oil Kings found themselves in a furry situation on Saturday night, trying to end their unbearable 12-game losing skid. The Old Kings held their teddy bear toss game when they took on the Prince Albert Raiders on Saturday. A minute and 7 seconds into the game, Davis Kosh gets a feed from Trey Fix-Wolanski, and he finds the back of the net, and the Bears came raining down early. All 14,122 bears. That broke the record for the most teddy bears tossed at a game. Look, even Thomas Schustel brought a bear. The game finally got back underway, and it was the Raiders who capitalized as Winnipeg Jets 5th rounder Jordy Stallard pots the backhand past Travis Child to tie the game at 1. In the second, Brett Kemp makes his way around the net of Ian Scott and manages to get the puck over the goal line as the Oil Kings take the lead once again. It's 2-1. Still in the second, the Oil Kings in on an odd man rush when Carter Souch finds Davis Kosh, and he sneaks it past Scott for his second goal of the game. The Oil Kings would add an empty netter as they would snap the long losing streak at 12. After the game, Davis Kosh talked about his goal that unleashed the Teddies.
You score, you go into your little huddle, and then the Bears just start hitting you. You go for the flyby, you can't really skate because there's already bears on the ice, and it just all the Bears pile on.
The Oil Kings look to stay hot this month with 11 games on the schedule. The Mike Day Classic at St. Francis Xavier High School is going into its 20th year and is the start of the high school basketball season. The high school basketball season tips off with the preseason tournament at St. Francis Xavier High School, where the students and staff take time out of their classes to come and watch the games. The tournament is a celebration of Mike Day, a former coach and teacher at FX who spent 35 years at the school. However, this tournament is the first of many high school basketball here in Edmonton.
We're pretty lucky, like Mike Day is the first big high school tournament in Edmonton and usually in Alberta. So we kind of kick off the high school basketball season with a big preseason tournament. The sport of basketball is growing in Canada immensely. The number of kids participating is off the charts. So many games and leagues and whatnot.
The sport of basketball is booming, with youth being able to look up to Canadians like Andrew Wiggins and Jamal Murray that are already stars in the NBA. That has caused the tournament to have more interest than ever. With 28 teams in the tournament this year, the school expects there to be more in the coming years. What an insane sight to see with all those bears on the ice on the Oil Kings game, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And that one really big bear.
I can't believe that we broke a new record. What a week in sports. Thanks, Brett.
Anytime, ladies.
And that's been your look at Second Edition News.
Thank you for joining us.
Hello and welcome to Cooking with Ernest. My name is Amber Bernard and this is Chef Josh Ward. And one of the biggest trends right now is smoking your own meat. So can you tell us how to do that?
Absolutely. So what we have here is a back rib from a pig. So what I want to do first is to take off this membrane. So there's a very thick membrane just on the back here.
Okay, now why are we taking off the membrane?
So this basically will harden as it cooks instead of break down. So it basically just makes a bad mouthfeel that we want to kind of alleviate.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So next we're just going to do a little bit of seasoning. So I have a basic spice rub that we have here.
Okay, and what is in the rub?
So this rub has just some black pepper, a little bit of paprika, cumin, chili powders, just a little bit of dry herbs.
Okay, now I notice you're just sprinkling it on. Why aren't you rubbing in the rub?
So the rub, it basically will clog up the pores, so it doesn't allow a lot of that moisture to kind of come out or go in that we want as well. And then it allows the flavors from the sauce and everything to kind of go into the pork.
Okay, perfect.
So now that we have everything nice and rubbed, so this would go in a smoker for about 5 hours at about 225, but since not many people have smokers at home, if you just have a normal barbecue, you can actually turn one side on, leave one side off, and then have your wood chips on the open fire, and then your meat off onto the side, where they call it an indirect heat. So that basically just circles the heat inside the cabin, and it lowers it so you can actually do it for a longer period of time instead of having it directly over the flames.
Oh, well, that's clever.
So that's about 5 hours in a smoker, and if you want to slide me the cooked version. So this is just a traditional sauce that we use. It's basically a tomato molasses-based sauce. So what you want to do for your last hour is to have your sauce and everything ready, and then you just want to do a glaze on it. You want to do both sides, and then that's going to go back into the smoker for about 1 hour.
Well, that looks delicious. So for more recipes like this, visit natenewswatch.ca, click on the second edition tab. I'm Amber Bernard, this is Chef Josh Ward, thank you for joining us.